And welcome back to Triple B, where we are Black, beautiful, and brave. I'm Candy.
Namayana, and I'm excited that decided to join us today on Black, Beautiful, and Brave podcast, where we discuss the topics that we find most interesting as Black Christian single women.
If you are watching us on YouTube or even Spotify, don't forget to like and subscribe or just follow us on
Yeah.
Spotify. Follow our channel and share this podcast with a friend or anyone you know that might find this topic interesting.
Mhm, mhm.
Leave Triple B a message by calling our number.
Yes, we have a
Um,
number.
we sure do. Call us. If you're too shy to leave us a message or a comment, please give us a call. We want to hear from you. Definitely. And again, follow us on all of these different platforms.
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify.
We're trying to expand our fellowship. We notice so many of you guys are viewing us on YouTube,
Yeah, we
but
do.
few of you guys have subscribed. It costs you nothing to subscribe to our channel.
Just click the button.
That's all. And if you like the content, click on like. Where more people are watching our content, just like it. Just like it, you know. It helps us for the algorithm and helping
Right.
others to find us on these different platforms. Like us, subscribe, follow, join our Facebook family, just
Yes.
to keep the message going.
Yeah, and what we are finding is that a lot of people, both males and females, right? So we expect the females, but a lot of males are giving us comments. Some of them don't necessarily want to come on the air, but we are definitely appreciating your feedback. So we want to see you actually type some of that feedback for us. And we're glad that the things that we're discussing are things that are really touching you and engaging you, and you really feel these are things that are already on your heart.
Definitely. And we want to thank those who have left comments. You know,
Yes,
we have a
yes.
few of our followers, our friends who are leaving us comments. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much
much.
for the support. Well, today, by the looks of our title, it's going to be an interesting one, right? Today, we're
Mhm.
going to talk about toxic positivity in the church.
Mm. Mm.
Toxic positivity in the church. And to
Yes.
have us or to help us in this conversation, we have a special guest. I know this guest personally, knew this guest for a long time. And these are some conversations we have had before. She is also Black. She's beautiful. And listen, she is definitely brave to join us today. Welcome to the stage, my sister,
Yay.
Marjorie.
Yay. Can you tell they're sisters?
Oh, wait. Okay, no, I'm going to put you in the middle. No, no, no. Can you tell we're sisters? Yes, we're sisters. Definitely.
I mean,
Definitely.
something like that. That's what they say. That's what they call it. Us being
Mm,
sisters.
mhm, mhm.
I prefer sisters than twins.
Mm.
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
we look nothing okay, not nothing
What?
alike,
What
but
do
we
you
don't
say?
look
What are you gonna say? Mm.
okay, not
Mm.
nothing alike, but we're
Right.
not twins.
Yeah.
Um, we're definitely 8 years apart.
Oh wow.
Absolutely.
Oh wow.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Wow.
100%.
And in our 8 years apart, even though we're 8 years apart, my sister Marjorie has a lot of wisdom and has
Okay.
shared that with me,
Mhm.
even when times that I'm just being toxic with my positivity.
Mm.
Or just trying to be a good big sister, trying your
Okay,
best.
okay. I like that. I like the positive twist on that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey,
That's
hey.
not a toxic positivity twist I put on there, but yeah.
So before we get started with the conversation, let's get to know you a little bit, Marjorie.
Okay.
Tell us, who are you? Who's Marjorie?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. Who am
Mhm.
I? Ooh,
Mhm.
that's heavy. It's like when you're in a job interview
Oh,
Oh wow.
and they're
mercy.
like, well, tell us a little bit about yourself. It's like, what you want to know? um, tell you a little bit about myself. I am a beautiful, black, and brave young lady.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I am educated. I am a
Mm-hmm.
Christian. I enjoy traveling. For those of you
Mm-hmm.
all who know Candy very well, you will see me traveling alongside with her. I'm not as adventurous as Candy is. Sometimes she does the motivating for me. But oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes at the end, I'm like, yeah, that was a good idea. That was great. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did it.
Like, did you die?
I
No.
didn't.
Oh,
Hey,
dying is that's the bar.
No, no, because people
Survive,
think
not
like, oh no,
survive,
that's not the
live,
bar we should be
die.
judging things at.
because people think the most or the worst out of our adventure. Like, what? That's not safe. Or one of our friends would like to say, I'm not trying to make the news. I just do
Right.
not
Mm.
want
And
to
I'm
make the
definitely
news.
not trying to make the news. Listen, even though you may not die, if you end up on the news, that's not the life I'm trying to live.
That's
Right?
right.
Right,
That's right.
right,
That's
right,
right.
right.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
All
not.
right.
But yes, I enjoy traveling and just trying to be the best person that I can as
Mm-hmm.
far as living as holistic of a life as
Mm-hmm.
possible. Balance, um, some conservative views, some liberal views. All in all, I enjoy having a good time. I enjoy figuring out ways to better myself as a person, and all of that, including being a Christian and growing closer to Christ.
Okay. So
Nice.
we also know that you're single.
Right.
Hey, yes, I am.
I
Oh,
love that. I love that response.
yes,
Yes.
I am.
So shall we ask her also, is she available? Because we do ask the men if they are available. So
Because
in
there is
case
a
we have any
difference.
eligible men listening, are you
Mm.
available, Marjorie?
Yes, I am.
Not
So
with a
Marjorie,
chin. Mm.
I'm just following up the same way I asked the men because I don't want to be accused of being biased. Is there any male out there who thinks that
Mm,
you and them are in a relationship at the moment?
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
He said, absolutely not. Quickly.
Yeah, I have noticed how people will operate in that manner. And to me, it just blows my mind. Like,
Mhm.
how do you do that to people? You just have people out here thinking they're exclusive with you, and then come to find out none of them are exclusive. I
That's
just
right.
think that is just such a unchrist-like thing to do, and
Yeah.
it's
Mm.
just dirty. So no, there is no one out there who feels as if they have any exclusivity to me. Not at all.
So, Marjorie, here's another question. Why are you single?
Mm.
Ooh.
Is
Listen,
it
you and
by
me, we trying to figure that out.
Ooh.
Okay, we trying to
Ooh.
wait,
figure
wait,
it
Ooh.
wait, 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 wait. Is it by choice, chance,
Hmm.
or circumstance?
out. Is it by choice,
Chance.
chance,
Triple
and
C.
or
So we have triple B, that's triple C.
yeah, triple C question? I see what y'all
Triple
doing. I
C
see what
question
you
from
doing.
triple B.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I low key feel like it's a mixture of all three,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So by
Hmm.
choice,
Mm-hmm.
because I have chosen, quite
Mm-hmm.
intentionally chosen, not to be in relationship with people I feel like I'm not aligned with, right?
Okay.
Um, there has been opportunity in my recent past to explore being in a relationship with in particular individuals, but upon getting to know them in
Mm-hmm.
interactions, seeing how we do not align, it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like I'm choosing not to be in relationship
Okay.
Right.
by chance because I feel like I'm trying to do my part to
Mm-hmm.
be a active dater in a way. However, it is kind of difficult to do that as a Christian who has particular values and principles, and trying to find other people who or other men who align with that. And I
Mm-hmm.
have not necessarily gotten the chance to come across someone who aligns with me with the
Mm-hmm.
solid core principles and values that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it? Choice, chance, or
Circumstance.
circumstance? I
Mm-hmm.
guess circumstance and chance is kind of hand in hand. Like that's the circumstance I'm dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Not really finding someone that I'm able to align with. The city in which I live in um, really isn't the best city to find young, professionals who are also Christ-centered.
Mhm.
Granted, a lot of people say that about their city. So
Mhm.
I kind of feel like it's a little bit of all three of them. Yeah.
So
Okay.
when you say young, I have a question. So what age range are you looking at for
Okay.
relationships?
Well, I'm 34.
Okay.
So in my heart of hearts,
All right.
I would not want to date someone younger than me, but
Okay.
I am open to connecting with someone and seeing if it's a fit, like a year, maybe two,
All right.
younger
All
than
right.
me.
All right.
And then, I mean, the cap, we talking about 40.
40? Okay. Okay.
but but let me say that's the preference cap.
Okay.
But then
Okay.
of course, if I meet someone who's like, 41, 42,
Yeah.
and I see that we're aligned, and it really does seem like God has his hand in it, of course I would be open
To
to,
Okay.
pass them along this way.
oh,
Ooh.
okay, yeah, there we
I'm just
go.
kidding.
Yeah. So
No, ma'am.
if
Just
y'all
that
like
was
in
a
y'all
joke.
40s, 41, 42, y'all look for Marjorie and we'll go ahead and arrange that for Candy.
All
Okay.
right. All right.
So,
All right.
yes,
Just kidding.
I'm
Just
not. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay. A little bit of sister rivalry going on here. All
not
right,
at
Candy.
all. Not
Now,
at
I am
all.
open to hooking up my sister with whoever I find fit. But let's be clear,
Mm,
I have standards for her as well. So don't,
mm,
not just any and anybody can
mm.
try to like approach me and be like, yeah, I'm interested in your sister. All right, let's figure it out. You know.
All right,
Mm.
But
good
yeah,
answer. Good answer.
protective younger sister in the building.
All
All
right.
right.
I'm glad she got my back because I got her
Yeah.
back.
Hmm.
Ah.
All right. Well, cool. Now to this topic.
Mm.
Mm,
Toxic positivity in the
mm,
church.
mm,
What does that look like?
mm.
Or what does that even mean?
True.
Toxic positivity. Before we talk about bringing it into the church, what does toxic positivity mean to you? Marjorie, if you want to answer first, and Ayana, if you have anything to say, and then I'll follow.
Okay. So I definitely want to start with the definition
Mhm,
of toxic positivity. So I have here from Psychology Today their initial definition for toxic positivity. And it states that toxic positivity is the act of avoiding, suppressing, or rejecting negative emotions or experiences.
mhm,
This may take the form of denying your own emotion or someone else denying your emotion, insisting on positive thinking instead. So,
mhm,
although setting aside difficult emotion is sometimes necessary but temporary, something that should be done temporarily, denying negative feelings long term is harmful because it can prevent people from processing their emotions and overcoming their distress.
mm,
So, with that definition, as far as essentially being avoidant,
mhm,
right? Being
mhm,
avoidant or being told in a passive way or indirect way to avoid your negative feelings. So
mhm.
almost in a way for me, toxic positivity, like just put on a mask.
Oh.
Put a mask on, like whatever negative emotion that you're dealing with, put a mask on so then that way you can make it seem as if though all is well.
Yeah, but then isn't that the whole basis of church though on Christianity, right? So, there's this saying that religion is the opium of the masses, right? So when
Mm,
we say that we believe in God or we believe in this higher calling and we cast all our cares on an all loving Father, then to some extent, if we're just looking at religion on a whole, right, there is that, put on a smile and, think of when people come to church and you're saying, how are you today, brother? I'm great, sister,
mm-hmm,
blessed, blessed
mm-hmm.
and highly favored. And your marriage is falling apart,
Yeah.
right? But it's the culture though. We encourage that. We don't want anybody, whether it's a greeter at the door when that person is greeting you and they're saying good morning and you're saying good morning to them, you don't want to hear the greeter say, I had a horrible week. I'm so glad I'm here this morning so I can greet you and tell you about my stress that I had all week, because this is why we're here, to share each other's burden. So-
Mm. Can you imagine? Oh,
I mean, I agree with you. And to add on to that, figuring out how to properly do it, right? Well, before I
Mm,
even get into that, Candy, did you want to share? Were you
yes.
planning on sharing?
yeah. When I think of, well, let me just be transparent.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to confess to being
Mm-hmm.
someone who participated in the toxic positivity, just the positive thinking,
Mm-hmm.
just refraining. For me, I took it as refraining my thoughts, and thinking that everyone should be able to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's not to say that I dismiss my feelings. I acknowledge my feelings, and then I just, all right, my feelings are this. How do I move forward? And then I move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I'm speaking to someone, I'm assuming, all right, I know that you're angry. All of that has happened. All right, now let's move forward. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas some people, the time that they need to address their anger or their feelings or their emotion may take longer than me.
That's
Right.
right.
And so
That's
I
right.
think about the text Ephesians 4:26 that
Mm.
says, what is the be angry and sin not,
Not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right?
We can get
So,
angry.
huh?
We
Yeah,
can get
you
angry.
can gain angry. You can get angry. I think
Yes.
this text is also, just basically saying we're gonna have emotions.
Yeah.
We will
Yes.
be angry. We will be sad. We will have these emotions, but sin not. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that the thing is being able to be transparent with your emotions, going to church. Um, when someone says, Happy Sabbath, how are you doing? Oh, I'm blessed
Mm.
and highly favored. Right. We know that, but how are you really doing? Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had someone who used to stop me when I was in school who used to say, like, no, how are you really doing? And I had to think about, like, you're right. Let me think, how was my week? You know, sometimes
Yeah.
we have this, because of culture, this
Yeah.
automated response.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
so it's a work to do,
It is.
each person, and being able to find a space to feel comfortable to be able to share your emotions.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just want to kind of piggyback and just re-emphasize the differentiation that you were making between reframing and toxic positivity. And just a quick note for anybody who's watching this, I am in the field of health care, but not of mental health. So everything that I am saying here solely represents the views of the self and personal education that I have done to help myself with managing my emotions and my, negative feelings. So please do not be like, oh, they had this. I'm a regular person. Okay. But there is a difference between reframing and toxic positivity, which I
Mhm.
think what you were saying that essentially your steps are you're reframing, which is like you're kind of trying to figure out what can you take away from the negative situation and now how to move forward positively, which is a healthy way to deal with negative emotions. But
Mhm.
toxic positivity is more so like suppressing that negative emotion. You're not dealing with it, you're not addressing it, you are not trying to work through it. You're literally sweeping it under the rug and then trying to move forward as if though it's not having an impact on you at all.
But
Mhm.
Right?
isn't that the reality for a lot of people though? And I mean,
It
growing up,
is.
when I
And
think
that's why a lot of
about
people have these breaks, right?
right,
A lot of
right,
these people kind of have these moments where it's like, whoa, where did that come from? What they
right,
say, the needle that broke the camel's back. people who are feeling, the word that we've been using now is um uh uh COVID. COVID, when everybody's like distressed, the word is escaping me. Um, can y'all help me? Do you, what's the word? What's the word?
I don't know. You have to keep talking so we could
Okay.
get another word.
But basically, you know, a lot of burnout. There we go.
Burnout.
Okay,
A
Okay.
lot of
burnout.
people who are going through burnout because
Mm,
we're dealing with so much. We feel like we do not have the time, the energy, the mental capacity to deal with
mm-hmm.
all that is being presented to us. So we just keep sweeping it under the rug, sweeping it under the rug
Yeah.
until it gets to a point we can't sweep it under the rug anymore.
Right. Because you
And
have a
that it
mountain
just
of dirt below the rug.
exactly.
But when I think
So
about, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. So like if we just think about that difference between reframing, which is something
Mm,
I'm trying to get better at, and the
mm,
difference with toxic positivity, which is something I think a lot of us just kind of do just so we can get by without
mhm.
realizing ultimately it's going to make us topple over.
Yeah. I
Just
think for me, like I've seen growing up, at least, because I grew up around a lot of males,
Mhm.
like especially when they go through, when men or boys to men dealing with difficult situations, they turn a lot to sports. I've seen them do that. So they'll start, um, let's say they go through a traumatic breakup, they'll go and do what we call bounce ball, like play basketball, play soccer, and they'll play for hours and then just playing, right? And then all of a sudden they're in another relationship. And they're like, how did they get into another relationship so quickly? Right? Because
Mhm.
I guess then their way of dealing with that trauma or that hurt or those emotions was kind of the mind numbing sports, right? So you wear
Mhm.
yourself out physically. And to the point where you just kind of wait until a new circumstance comes up and you just start the process all over again.
Mhm.
So
hmm.
but to me, even to get to a reframing point, you have to have the tools to do that though.
Yeah,
And I
or
feel,
is anything be open to learning the tools to doing that?
yeah, but do we give ourselves or each other the tools to be open? Like how many of us want to hear someone else's problems? Like when you meet your friend or your family member and you ask them a question and they start to tell you some of the stuff and you're in your mind, you're like, oh my gosh, not today. But okay, I'll let them talk. Then, as soon as they're done, I'll just kind of say, well, I'll pray for you.
Oh,
And then keep it moving, right?
And keep
Keep it
it
moving.
moving.
and
I'm gonna be very. Oh, go ahead, Candy.
that's why I say I think it's important to find a safe space,
Mm,
so that you can express those feelings. And
mhm,
sometimes women, we know those spaces. There are
mhm,
girlfriends, our sisters, what
mhm.
have you, a
Our mothers.
small group of people.
Mhm,
I guess the older you get, the more you realize who are your trusted friends who will give you sound
mhm,
advice.
mhm,
And when I was saying the reframing and how I contribute to toxic positivity, for me personally, because I go through this process, I can be someone who just I feel like I have just been toxic, to others as far as saying, "Girl, just get over it." We moving
Mhm.
on. We moving on, but not allowing that person to go through their emotions. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
and it may take longer than for me. It may look different than for me,
Yeah.
but allowing that person to go through it, and like you said, Ayana, just sit there and listen. You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
sit
Mhm.
there, and sometimes people just need you to just listen,
Yeah.
and not judge. What's that saying? We listen and we do not judge, right?
Mm,
Yes. Or listening to understand and not listening to
Mm.
respond.
yeah. So I,
Yeah.
I definitely in my younger days I volunteered. I don't know if I probably told Candy this. I don't know if I said it here. I volunteered to work at a like a call center in the UK because I was a student traveling on a work and study visa. And I volunteered to work in one of those call centers where people call in and I think it was Sane Line or something like that. And they would tell you their problems, including wanting to kill themselves and, along that line. I was in my early 20s. And yeah, after they told me their story, I'd proceed to give them my advice. So suffice to say, at some point, I was called in and told, well, basically, I was fired from my volunteer job that I wasn't getting paid for anyway.
You were fired from being a volunteer.
Right. So apparently, I was giving advice because they're talking to
And
because they
you
were
were
talking.
getting paid to just listen.
I was getting paid to, well, I wasn't even getting paid. It was
Oh,
volunteer.
you're right.
You were
I
You're
felt like,
right.
oh my gosh,
volunteering
people
to
can be fired
listen.
for being a volunteer. Like,
Like, ma'am, no thank you. Thank you,
yeah.
but no thank you.
Yes,
No,
yes,
thank you.
yes.
No, thank you. So I totally get it. Just giving people the space to just talk.
And with the point that you all both made in regards to like when a person is saying, how are you? And the response, I think as we grow with better understanding, I think it is okay to make the intention of knowing how to ask and respond to those questions, right? So, like, for
Mm,
example, with me, like when I go to church, I don't ask everybody how they're doing
mm,
because though we are Christians and, like you said, we're here to share each other's burden, I know that I don't have the capacity to genuinely mean that for each person that I'm asking that to.
mhm.
Hmm.
So honestly, all you're gonna get from me is a happy Sabbath. Hey,
Ooh.
happy Sabbath. Hey, happy Sabbath. Not everybody's gonna get oh, it's good to see you. Or hey, how was your week? Because if I don't genuinely feel that emotion for you and genuinely want a response for you, I do not want to be unauthentic, right? Which
Hmm.
is just contributing to these things, right?
Mhm.
So everybody gonna get a happy Sabbath from me. Everybody, whoever I come in contact, happy Sabbath, happy Sabbath.
Reggie.
Um, but then for those people that you have a little bit more investment in, they have a little bit more investment in you. You understand those dynamic, like Candy said, those particular people. I might ask you, like, how was your week? Because there's some
Mhm.
people I can say, listen, we made it to church, you know,
True.
and they already understand, like, all right, Margie, that's right. We made
True.
it to
True. True.
church. I
True. True.
understand, but we're here and we've
Mhm.
made it, and
Mhm.
there's some people who are just like, how was your week? And I'm just like,
Mhm.
man, the week was a week. The week was a week. And they understand, they can receive it without trying to like flip it a certain way or what have you. And
Mhm.
it's also not putting an unnecessary burden on them in that moment. But then I also have had experiences where they're like, okay, hold on, Marjorie, for the last couple of weeks, you've been saying, let's talk about this. And then we can have a moment where I'm able to share a little bit more with them. And then because they genuinely care, they'll follow up, you
Mhm.
know? Every Sabbath after, okay, so how are we doing with XYZ? How are we feeling? Is XYZ getting better? They might even be able to give me suggestions. Like I remember at a point when I was struggling with trying to find a new job and figure out what to do next in my career. They're like, hey, I heard about these opportunity. Have you looked in this area to look for a job? This is someone who's genuinely invested, and it's
Mhm.
not a serious burden in regards to them being invested. So
Mhm.
I think we, as each person, can be intentional in regards to how we do engage with others, just to make those experiences a bit more authentic. Because
So I
I don't like a person asking me how I'm doing, and you really don't care either, right? So
mm,
it's improving that exchange between both individuals.
right. I think for me now, I don't know. I'm thinking now of the pastors in our churches, so I'm feeling a little empathetic towards the pastors. So then the pastors now as the quote unquote shepherd of the flock. So unlike
Mm-hmm.
Marjorie, the pastors. Well, let me ask a question: should the pastors, just like Marjorie, pick and choose who? Well, you tell everyone Happy Sabbath, but not everyone you engage with, because if you notice, like the pastors, a lot of people feel they can tell pastors anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do pastors have that ability to pick and choose with whom they engage on a deeper level, just like you mentioned you do when you interacts with church members?
Absolutely. So, one, I want to say pastors are getting paid, right?
Ooh.
So, their job does require shepherding,
Yeah, but not
right?
all of them have the ability though, even though they're getting paid, right?
Correct. And and that could be a different conversation where they learn how to do that. But all pastors are being paid for the most
Mm,
part.
mm,
Um, and an aspect of their job is to shepherd their flock, their congregation.
mm, mm,
And with that, they should also have a level of discernment in
mm,
how they maneuver in doing so, right? So I think, in my humble opinion, there's probably like a baseline of how pastors would engage to kind of get a feel for all of their members, right? Because
mhm,
nobody
mhm,
wants to feel like they have a pastor they can't talk to.
mhm,
So I
mhm.
think to a certain level, the pastor should want to, how you doing? We doing okay? How you doing? Where I might just give you a happy Sabbath, the pastor will probably be like, happy Sabbath. Are we doing okay?
That's the
You had a
ideal, but
good
you know,
week?
there's some pastors who run from people, right? They're like, they say, "Oh, that's sister
Listen,
so."
and we got to pray for them. And maybe we need to figure out to help them get some training so that they can understand how to do that, because it can
Mhm,
be quite burdensome. Think about a pastor who's not even
mhm,
pastoring a large church, maybe a church of like 100 members, and
mhm.
imagine him trying to do that with 100 members on a weekly basis. That's wild,
Or
right?
2,000 members or 10,000 members.
Right. Some of those things is not even necessarily possible.
Mhm,
So, in regards to them not operating necessarily in a way of toxic positivity, they would have to figure out how to manage that level of, like, let's say, check in with members, with as
mhm,
many members as they can.
mhm.
And then, dependent on the response or the situation, they are able to then move forward with either going deeper, giving a quick word of encouragement in that moment, deciding
Mhm,
how to move forward with it.
mhm, mhm,
Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right,
mhm.
regarding pastors. And if a pastor is running from a member, I don't fault them. I really don't. Some of y'all ain't right. Some of y'all ain't right anyway, right?
Right.
So they are probably running with wisdom, you know? God has told them, listen, let me tell you, this sister or this brother, run, you know. And so I'm sure they have some type of discernment as far as running from people.
But we
Yeah.
assume that not
Right.
some of them are
But
just
uh,
not strong
like
enough. Not
Marjorie is saying,
necessarily.
they are getting paid. Hopefully,
Mm,
they have been trained,
hopefully.
and they are being guided by the Holy Spirit to
Hmm,
Mm-hmm.
flock,
hopefully.
to shepherd their people. But guys, let me tell you something. This is good. This is
Oh
good.
boy.
This
Oh
is some
boy.
good conversation. Marjorie said, "Oh boy."
Cause I feel like you trying to tell me we're coming to a close.
Yes,
Yeah, but we haven't even touched on toxic
Yeah, like
positivity with
we
relationships now because we
barely
haven't got
scratched
to
the
you know
that
what that
yet.
means?
surface.
You know what that means?
No, what does it mean?
Marjorie got to come back next week.
Ah,
Ah.
You got to
hmm.
come back next week. We don't want to.
Okay.
What is the saying? The church saying? You don't want to worry the people. You don't want to. Is it worry that I want to
I
say?
don't know. I
I
don't know
don't
if I
know.
heard
I
that
don't know
saying
I
about
don't
yet.
want them to get tired. I don't want them to sit
oh,
here and
burden the people or make the people wary or something like that.
weary me.
Wary,
Okay, in the
Weary. We
comments,
don't want to make the
weary,
people
weary,
weary.
wear down the
whatever
team, whatever. Yeah.
whatever the proper term is. Y'all put it in the comments. You know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We
Y'all
try to
know what
keep,
we mean.
y'all know what we mean. Trying to keep this nice and short, not short, but not too long.
Mhm.
And so we have to invite Margie to come back. Are you willing to come
Yeah.
back so we can continue this conversation?
Absolutely. If you have me.
Wonderful. We will have Marjorie back next week.
Yay.
Thank you, Marjorie, for joining us. Bye.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Man, that was good, Iana.
It
And
was. It
like you
was. I
said,
feel like
we
we
just
just
touched the surface.
That's right. That's right. Because there's so many things we have yet to go to the relationship aspect of toxic positivity, and
Mhm.
relationship within the church, how that shows up, etc. Um,
Yes.
all
So,
right.
so definitely, if you have something to share or
Mhm.
add to this conversation, give us a call. Give us a call, 678 667 3371. Leave us a message. We
That's
want to hear
right.
from you. We want to
Yes,
hear
we
from you. And we
do.
promise not to, unless you give us permission to share your recording. But yeah, we just want to hear from you. So definitely give us a call. And, wherever you're watching this podcast, please, 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 please
That's a
please
lot of please,
subscribe.
like
I
Facebook,
know
Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, which has
all of
video
that.
now. So that's different for Spotify. So
Yes,
Spotify, hey, that's a plug for you.
yes,
Um,
yes,
so
yes.
exciting stuff.
Definitely. So definitely join us and join our follow our whatever, our fellowship. Is it fellowship?
Keep on
Our,
making up words,
our fan
Candy. Like,
base. I don't know. It's late. It's late. But anyways, definitely like us, subscribe, follow, rate us only if you like us. If you don't
yeah.
like us, keep it to
Yes, you like
yourself.
us. Well, thumbs
You guys are
up.
watching. We are expanding our territory or those who are following us.
Yeah,
So just share with anyone you might think that might find this conversation interesting. And we thank
yeah,
you.
we
And with
do.
that being said, we are what? Triple B.
Out.
Awesome. Bye.